Now then, people, it's Joe, it's all Leeds TV, and it's time for your Leeds versus Aston Villa pre-match chat. Really excited for this one. Really excited, really pumped. Want to beat them so bad. We have that little bit of needle with Villa fans. I respect them as a club. They are a huge club, much like Leeds. But there's that little bit of needle there from the time in the Championship. Gabby said a few words. There's that disdain that we have for Jack Grealish, which has sort of wavered a little bit after we've seen pictures of him and Calvin at the England game. But I, for one, as a Leeds United fan, really want to dent Aston Villa's 100% record. But be under no illusions, it's going to be very tough. They're a top side, you know. Had a bit of a shaky start in the Premiership last season, stayed up through the skin of the teeth. Maybe the business done wasn't great. However, they've totally rectified that. They are a different animal, a different beast that we will be facing tomorrow, Friday night. Before we get into the video, please smash a like, please share and subscribe. Sorry for the late upload. Been very busy. We were unable to get an opposition fan as well due to time restraints, obviously Monday and then Friday. But hopefully I can do Aston Villa and this preview some justice. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. What are your thoughts and feelings ahead of this big game? So let's talk about Aston Villa then. Listen, they're going to line up 4-3-3. The midfield is pretty special at the moment. You know, Douglas Luiz, McGinn, and, of course, Ross Barkley. What a signing that is, by the way. Let's just have a look at some of the business that Aston Villa have done. Emilio Martinez, we looked at him. We'd have had him. 80 million looks a bit of a snip now. He's come in and he's really showed them up at the back. They've got Ollie Watkins. Again, another player Leeds United looked at, would have took. I'd have been happy with Ollie Watkins as a signing. And he started brilliantly at Aston Villa. You know, he scored a hat-trick against Liverpool, for God's sake, you know. I know that's a bit of a outlier. It's not something that would happen week in, week out in terms of that result, but it was a huge result. And for a striker to come in there and get a hat-trick against Liverpool is no mean feat, regardless of how well Liverpool played or how, you know, you envisage the game to go. That is no mean feat. And we know he can do bits. We know he can do bits. We've got that little bit of needle towards Ollie Watkins as well as Leeds United fans, you know. But he's a top footballer, you know, and he'll do bits in that Villa side, 100%. Of course, Ross Barkley as well. I think it's a perfect club for him. Bit of a main man, you know, went to Chelsea, was always going to be a bit of a fringe player, didn't really work out. He's rocked up at Villa and he's had a fantastic start. Matty Cash, second best right back in the Championship last season behind Bill Ayling. For me, anyway, might not be for Villa fans or Forest fans, but, you know, he was in my team of the season. I just moved Bill into centre-back to get him in there. But Matty Cash, great signing for them. Bertrand Traore as well, another special talent coming to the club. You know, Villa are a totally different outfit now, And as I said, that midfield three of McGinn, Douglas Luiz, and Ross Barkley is not to be sniffed at, especially when you consider that we're going to have different bodies in there than we would have liked. We all know how good Calvin Phillips is. If you remember the Villa game down in the Championship, he did a bit of a job on Jack Grealish in both games. Obviously, it might have been a different outlook now because Jack Grealish is playing more on the left-hand side now of the front three. I think Trezeguet on the right and then Ollie Watkins leading the line. Whether or not Bertrand Traore is ready for a start, I know he's been used as a sub in the last few, so he could start on the right there. But, I mean, the big thing is as well is defensively much better, you know, much better, obviously. Emilio Martinez has really showed them up. They've got Tyrone Mings in there. He's a dick, but he's a top footballer. He's a top centre-back for me. I really rate Tyrone Mings. He's a bit of an animal. You know, he's built like a brick shit house, isn't he? Let's have it right. And, of course, Konza at centre-back alongside him as well. So it's going to be a very tough game against Aston Villa. Like I say, I mean, it's going to be interesting. Obviously, Leeds United were without Calvin. Massive loss. Pascal Strout's going to come in there. Now, normally, it's going to be interesting to see who picks up Jack Grealish. Obviously, he's playing on the left, so I would imagine that Luke Ayling will pick him up and man-mark him. And if you can stop Jack Grealish, then you can stop Aston Villa. Although they've made great additions, and obviously McGinn, Barkley, etc., I still feel that a lot of it goes through Jack Grealish. I might be wrong. Villa fans might tell me wrong, but I think if we can do a job on him, then we'll be sound. Now, in terms of who does that job and that man-marking system, because I know Jack Grealish is a bit of a free role, likes to play all over, but with Leeds United, as we've seen Kyle Walker said, it's a bit like a basketball match. Whoever's man-marking him will just follow him all over the pitch, So he's not going to be able to, as such, just drift from the left wing into the centre and not have someone tracking him. Luke Ayling's going to be tracking him. But then it throws up the conundrum, does Liam Cooper make the match? I think the fact that Liam Cooper missed out against Wolves puts him in better stead to start this game. Because, yes, he sort of pulled up in the warm-up against Wolves, and therefore Pascal Strout came in at centre-back and did a top job. But maybe him not playing that game gives him that extra couple of days recuperation, and therefore he starts at centre-back against Robin Koch, which for me would be ideal. We need Cooper to be fit, which then means Pascal Strout goes in DM and Ayling and Dallas stay where they are. Because let's say, for example, Cooper's not fit, Luke Ayling has to go in at centre-back for me. Dallas is going to switch over to the right, and Leif Davis will play at left-back. That's what I see happening. I don't see Shackleton coming in. Maybe Alioski could start at left-back ahead of Leif Davis, but it means we're going to have to move parts around. And we know Luke Ayling can do a job at centre-back, but I would prefer Luke Ayling to be in his preferred position at right-back up against Jack Grealish. Because Jack Grealish is a top player. Regardless of what we think of him, he's a top player and he can make Aston Villa tick. So for me, it's pivotal and vital that Liam Cooper's fit, because look, if Dallas moves out to the right, he's still not, I suppose I'm giving not a lot of favour to Stuart Dallas there. We know Stuart Dallas can stick to the task as well. But the only thing is, I think Luke Ayling, if I look at the job he did on Mane, for example, he did a job on him, let's be honest. Listen, I love Luke Ayling, and he's a top pro and he's a top player in this side. So for me, it'd be ideal if he was to stay there. But it's going to be a tough game. Very, very tough game. I don't know if as such it's going to be high scoring. I may be wrong. I'm a bit unsure. I was against Wolves. I was a bit unsure how it was going to go. It will be attack v attack, but I'm just not sure. Maybe that makes you believe, it's going to be goals. I just don't know how I'm going to go. But one thing is for certain, I'm so pumped for the game. So pumped for the game. And it's one that I want to win so badly. But look, Aston Villa have had a fantastic start. Beating Sheffield United 1-0, beating Fulham 3-0, You would expect them to do that, if I'm being totally honest. Sheffield United, maybe not so, but they haven't had a great start to the season, as we know. Still without the first win. Fulham whipping boys. Obviously, they get a fantastic result against Liverpool, 7-2. Bit out of the ordinary. Deflection FC. But Watkins was on fire that game, and you can only beat what's put in front of you. And if it's deflected goals, it's deflected goals. They still score 7 at the end of the day, So fantastic result. And then they beat Leicester. The game, not a great game, but Ross Barkley pops up 1-0. 100% start, 4 games, 4 wins. What more can you ask for as an Aston Villa fan? So it is going to be tough. I have good memories of Aston Villa. Just that first season under Bielsa. When we came back at Villa Park, one of the best moments for me under Bielsa was that roof goal, where he just first time smash bottom corner, amazing moment, and that was one for me where I thought we were definitely going to do it. Obviously, we know how it all panned out. We didn't do it. It is what it is. And then of course you've got the FIFA Fair Play game where Bielsa gave them a goal. Basically, I remember being in. I've got a picture of me in the stands when Click scores that goal. Yeah, it was a good moment because I was like, fucking get in there, up on my chair. I've still got the picture. There were smoke bombs and all sorts going off in the Kop. It was an amazing sight. And then Bielsa obviously goes, and it was the end of Pontus Jansson in effect. So, there is that little bit of needle there between us and Villa. A little bit of disdain maybe. Both respect each other as clubs, but just over recent history, there's that little bit of needle there. They'll want to beat Dirty Leeds. We want to beat Aston Villa. It is what it is. You can dress it up however, but each team really, really wants to win this game just so they can rub it in as well, because we have a big presence on social media, both set of fans, both great fans of their club, and there'll be that little bit of needle there, and there's that little extra added spice. I know it shouldn't really matter for the players, but us as fans has done. I know we've all bookmarked Gabby Agbonlahor's tweet. about saying that Leeds United are a myth and pundits need to get out of Bielsa's arse. Arse is 4 letters, by the way, not 5, Gabby, just so you know. But yeah, honestly, there's so much riding on the game in terms of getting one over in them. And I'm just really pumped for the game. How it pans out, I'm not really sure. Listen, it's going to be difficult, isn't it? We know that. We need to be more clinical. We need to create better scoring opportunities than we did against Wolves. But I think that was a lot down to the way that Wolves set up. You know, them 3 centre-backs were absolutely fantastic. The balls that were coming in, although they weren't bad, I just think, you know, Paddy Bamford didn't have much to work on, really, in terms of up against them 3 centre-backs that he was up against in Kilburn. Cody and Bolly. He doesn't have that. He doesn't have that on Friday. You know, he doesn't have that tomorrow night. Yes, Tyrone Mings and Cons are decent centre-backs, but I just think it's not going to be as packed out in that box. You know, both teams are going to come and attack. They will leave space, so there is an opportunity for Leeds to attack that space. In terms of lineup, it'll be very much the same from the attacking standpoint. Rodrigo, Click for me, Harrison, Costa, and of course Bamford leading the line. Whether we see Rafinha earlier on, Poveda earlier on, I'm not sure. Even Pablo Hernandez, maybe he comes in. We'll have to wait and see. The big thing for me as a Leeds United fan looking at this game is waiting for that lineup to come out to see who's going to be starting at the back. Because if Cooper's not fit, it means moving players around, which isn't ideal against an informed Villa side, you know. And we have to be wary of their attacking threats in Ollie Watkins, Jack Grealish, Ross Barkley. You know, so we need to be aware of that. So in an ideal scenario, you don't want to be moving players around. You know, Ailing needs to start right back. He does a job on Jack Grealish for me. He does. I think he does. And if we can stop Jack Grealish, then you win the game. I know there's other options there, Ross Barkley, but I just feel that, say, if Pascal Strouk's picking him up, he might not be as good technically, but he has the stature to be able to deal with him. For me, personally, you know, I may be wrong. I'm not going to sit here and profess, you know, or they're going to play mid-block, all that sort of stuff. It's not my bag, yeah? I just think that Pascal Strouk can do a job on Ross Barkley. I think Ailing keeps Jack Grealish quiet. Be interesting to see if Bertrand Traore starts on the right. But for me, I mean, it honestly could go either way. But hopefully Leeds United come away from Villa Park with all 3 points, stop that 100% record and get back to winning ways. You know, I said before these games start, this is the real test of the Premiership now. You know, everyone can get up for Liverpool, can get up for City, should be beating Sheffield United and Fulham like Villa have done. You know, we now have a test in obviously Wolves, which we lost, which was, you know, it was 0-0 was a fair result. We've now got Villa and then we have Leicester and Palace. I'm not sure on the order. But these are the games that we want to be winning to see where we are. So let's get 3 points. Let's get back on that winning run. I'm going to go for 2-0 Leeds United away at Villa Park. Fingers crossed. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. If we stop Jack Grealish, do we stop Aston Villa? Let me know. Let me know your score predictions and we'll see you tomorrow for the watch along. It's been a pleasure, as always. I need to go get some kit now and I'll see you in a bit. Leeds.